I'll be talking about a recent trip to Six Flags. And at this recent trip, there was quite a few things that happened. So, we were going to ride the Mindbender. This is our first time riding it all day, and I'm with my aunt, and that's about it for them. But we came with my dad, my brother, and sister, and that was about it who came. And me and my aunt were going to go ride Mindbender. So we get on, everything's normal. I was a little nervous about the seatbelt because there was still room underneath it. It wasn't all the way down, but I couldn't get it to click down one more. So I was like, okay, this will be okay. They're not telling me it's not locked or anything. They come around and check it. My seatbelt, my restraint thing gets checked, and then the ride goes off. So the ride is all normal. Flew out on my seat like a tiny bit, only because the seatbelt wasn't. I keep calling it a seatbelt. It's like a lap bar type thing. It's not a seatbelt at all, but I keep calling that for some reason. But the bar was a little loose, so I did come out of my seat a few times when we went up the hills and stuff. But that was about it. So when we get to the end, it stops you really suddenly. So you wait outside like you do for a normal roller coaster before you go on to unload. And right after we get stopped and we're heading into the little station, my seatbelt comes. My bar thing goes undone. So I was sitting there like, oh gosh, it didn't actually lock the whole time. Because they hadn't even pressed the button to release the belts yet. Or to release the bars. And mine just pops up all of a sudden at the end of the ride. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have died. But when I get in, I pretend everything's normal and I keep it down and stuff, pretending that it was down the whole time and everything. I get out, the ride's over, we go out of the exit, and when we get out of the line, out of the exit line completely, I turn to my aunt who was riding with me and say, my seatbelt wasn't locked. She's like, what? I said, yeah, my bar didn't lock. So, and then she looked at me like I was crazy. And then I told her what happened. I told her that it came up before the ride was over. And she was like, oh, well, at least you didn't fall out. And I was like, yeah. If I fell out, would I be here? No. And then we go and ride it about 6 more times. And on the 4th time that we rode it, I thought I was going to black out because I kept seeing spots on the loops. So I just closed my eyes and I was like, oh dear Lord, please have mercy on me. And it was so crazy. And then after we rode that for the 4th time, I made us take a break because I was like, woo. And after that, we went and rode a few rides. And so this guy was there. We went and rode a ride called Harley Quinn Spin Sanity. And this guy was over there. And he was about twice my age or older. He was about 27 or something. And he comes up to me because we're on the ride and he's telling us that it doesn't lock or anything. And he like, I'm not with my aunt at the time, I'm with my brother. And the guy leans over onto the thing, like he leans over to where his face is in the little cart thing and winks as he's saying it. And I'm like, oh gosh. Oh my Lord, oh my Jesus. And he walks off like it's normal. And I'm like, oh dear Lord, honey, someone called the police, help us. And my brother doesn't even notice. He's like 7. But he's sitting over there and he's like, okay, I've heard these instructions about 50 times now, you can leave. And the guy got mad at Noah. Noah's my brother. He was like, okay, fine. The guy that was winking at me. So, I think my brother chased him away for us because after that he didn't bother us at all. But I think that's the most eventful stuff that happened at Six Flags in our recent trips. So, that's all for today's video. This is Puppies and Kittens signing out.